of a lot of hard work, a lot of dedication, a lot of investment on your part and on the part of the faculty and the staff, everybody involved. It's a heavy lift to put on a residency program and to make it worthwhile. And I'm very proud of what we've done here over the last year that I've been involved, and then of course over the last several years under Nathan's leadership to have such an excellent CPE residency and fellowship program. So it's something for all of us to be proud of, for sure. So we're going to recognize all of you today, and we also have a special treat that one of the residents and one of the fellows will give a few words of gratitude, reflecting on their experience and offering words of thanks. So that's going to be a special treat. I'd like to introduce someone you know very well, Dr. Debra Marin, the Director for the Center for Spirituality and Health, for her to say a few words.
Good morning, everyone. Thanks, David. It's a small but very important audience that we have here today. I think that what David has said is true, that we've only been a center for actually under a year. The department has changed substantially the past several years, but this past year has been a very important growth year. And in terms of the academic curriculum, I really want to thank David and Nathan and Joe. As you've heard me before say, healthcare is changing, that's my mantra. The village chaplaincy has to change in accordance with that. And the reason why it was so important in terms of my view of what needs to be done to change the curriculum, because you really are now, I believe, prepared to be leaders in whatever job you do. And I understand that chaplains do very different things. You may be a resident chaplain, but you may go on to something else with your other degrees as you move on. However, I do think that the strength of the didactics, the supervision, the journal club, and everything you learn about research literacy puts you in a very important position. It also, however, makes you quite responsible for something, which is your continued growth. Because the worst thing that can happen is you learn all these things and you stop using the skills that you learned how to use. I in particular am talking about cumulative literature. Not just cumulative chaplaincy literature, but cumulative literature was going on in healthcare. It's very important for you to focus on what's going on with value-based purchasing and the role of the chaplain in patient-centered care. And how that fits in, I believe, is going to be fluid. Because there's so many different folks looking at the patient experience that what we have to figure out in the center, and you as chaplains hopefully will have to help us to do that, is what will be the role that you give that enhances the health of the patient, but also enhances the health of the employees. I've become acutely aware of the important role that the chaplains play in terms of maintaining or enhancing the needs of employees here, either in their day-to-day activities or in programmatic development. I see that here in the medical school at Fleenor, which has been very helpful with this issue of getting to medical students. So I say this to you because while what you do as chaplains is critical in what you learn in your residency, I'm hoping that the breadth of what you saw clinically here and all the other departments and how things are done here as causing others is very important to stay connected in some way. And fortunately, in this day and age of IT and technology, you can do that pretty easily without necessarily sitting in a room with grandparents. There are many opportunities we have to do, the least of which is APC webinar, for example, that they have. There are lots of opportunities to continue on that path. So I just would like to say that I hope you take what you learned with you and continue to learn with what you learned here. So I congratulate all of you, terrific residents and fellows. I know all of you. And it was a pleasure to have you in your training period here in our center. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Marin. And now I'll invite Rabbi Jo Hirschmann, a CPE Associate Supervisor and Director of Spiritual Care at Mount Sinai Beth Israel.
Good morning. It takes a village to run a residency program, and I want to take a moment to acknowledge the people who inhabit our village here and at the other residency hospitals. First of all, Dr. Debra Marin, without your leadership and vision and commitment to really having this residency program and the spiritual care departments be centers of clinical and educational excellence, none of this would be possible, and this residency wouldn't be possible, so thank you. Dr. Van Sharma, you have an encyclopedic, literally database, and also body of knowledge about spirituality, religiosity, mindfulness, health, trauma, resilience, and you also have a real passion for helping residents and chaplains become research literate, and the contribution that you've made to this group of residents and fellows education is really extraordinary, so thank you for that. That's Norma. Side.
I'll go get her.
Great, okay. While we wait for Norma to come, the clinical directors, Meredith Wissigor at Mount Sinai, St. Luke's and West, and Zorina Costello here in your capacity as acting director, you have held the clinical crucible in which all of this work and learning has happened. So thank you for that. And Zorina, I just want to especially acknowledge the really extraordinary way that you've worn two hats for all of these months, steering the ship here at Mount Sinai Hospital and also continuing to move forward with community engagement work. And I want to take this opportunity to welcome Daniel Coleman. All summer we've had a refrain, when Daniel arrives, and we're so glad that you're finally here and that you're coming on this auspicious day as we say goodbye to this group of residents. Norma O'Neill is the person who holds together all of the administrative threads of the residency program and the overall CPE program. So thank you, Norma, for all that you've done day to day to make it possible for these groups of residents and fellows to be here and to learn here. The staff chaplains, Apollinari Ogira, Denise Welsh, Nadine Koza, Maggie Keogh, Paul Rickert, Michael Horton, Brian Carter, and also Rocky Walker. Where's Rocky? Okay, so Rocky was a resident, a fellow, and then a staff chaplain. I want to acknowledge all of you for the role that you played in teaching the residents and fellows in informal and formal ways. You played really essential roles from the initial days of orientation through sometimes serving as preceptors, through all of the informal conversations that have happened in the office spaces, in our classroom spaces, and on the floors. So thank you for that. I also want to acknowledge the many different intern groups that have cycled through our hospitals over the 1 and 2 years that you've been here. And some of those interns, some of whom are here today, studied with you as residents. They were in your classroom spaces with you. Sometimes you were their teachers and preceptors, and other times they were your teachers. And I want to acknowledge the role that they played in your learning over these 1 and 2 years. And then finally, your CPE supervisors, David Fleenor and Nathan Goldberg, who will say more later. Their deep commitment to you as people, as learners, and as professionals really anchored this residency, and I want to acknowledge that work. So thank you all. It's a pleasure to share this village with you, and I look forward to what we'll do in the months and years to come.
I'm very honored to be sharing some words today on behalf of the second year residents, also known as the Chaplain Fellows. In Marin, the book of Deuteronomy, God tells the Israelites, "Ubechartem b'chayim," choose life. As pastoral caregivers, we know what a difference choosing life can make. With our seriously ill patients, sometimes the choice to live is what makes the difference between life and death. And in our own professional lives, on a daily basis, choosing to embrace life with all its holiness and all its messiness can make a difference in the quality of our experience. So in the last couple of days, we talked about ways that we have chosen life over the past 2 years that we've worked together and learned together. And here are a few things that we came up with. We've chosen life when we've chosen to live out our vocation and brought some of the energy of life to people who are experiencing deathliness and alienation. We've chosen life when we dragged ourselves out of bed at 6 a.m. to get to morning report after having been on call the night before, stayed up till 3 a.m. and got 2 hours of sleep. We've chosen life when we've chosen to delve into our own lives with all of the complexity, with all of the pain, and found ways to grow from it and learn how difficult experiences ordain us to be pastoral caregivers. We've chosen life when we've wrestled as a group with our differentness and our tensions and found ways to learn together and grow together and support each other. We've chosen life when we found energy at 7 p.m. to chart 5 more patients and then went home, and although we really wanted to just vegetate for the evening, found the energy to do self-care so we could get up and serve for another day. And we've chosen life when we encountered patients who were so different from ourselves that we wondered, can I really connect with this person? And then found a way to be present to them and to have a meaningful encounter. And why do we do it? Well, for one thing, I think we all have a place in our heart for an idea that Elie Wiesel of blessed memory articulated. If life, mine or that of my fellow person, is not an offering to the other, then what are we doing on earth? And we feel very grateful for the offerings that have been given to us by so many people in the course of our 2 years here at Sinai. First, to our beloved supervisors, Rabbi Nathan Goldberg and Reverend David Fleenor, who have given to us from their deep understanding of CPE and their use of self and their caring for us as individuals, and helped us to grow into the professional chaplains that we are today. We want to thank Dr. Marin and Dr. Sharma for their leadership and for a very exciting opportunity to be part of this department as it's growing and creating a new paradigm for the delivery of spiritual care. We want to thank our site directors, Rabbi Jo Hirschmann and Reverend Meredith Lissendorf, for all of their support in so many ways on a daily basis. We want to thank the staff chaplains at Sinai, Reverend Denise Welsh, Apollinari Nguara, Sister Nadine Koza, Reverend Zorina Costello, and Maggie Keogh for their friendship and encouragement and feedback, and to Norma for her terrific logistical support. And we also are thinking of people who are part of our journey but are not here today. We want to thank Rabbi Ariel Goldberg for all of his leadership and bringing us on board. We want to thank Chaplain Brian Carter for his mentorship. And last but not least, we want to congratulate our fellow resident chaplains, Phil and Matt, Mira and Constantine, who are graduating today. It's been wonderful to get to know you and to spend time together and to be there for each other. And we want to welcome Rabbi Daniel Coleman, who is coming on board today as the director, and we wish you blessings and success in your leadership for many years to come. I'm going to close with a psalm. It's the prayer that Moses recited, according to tradition, when he dedicated the tabernacle. He said it twice, once for himself, and once for all the people who had played a part in building the tabernacle, in creating this place where God's presence could dwell. We offer it today for ourselves as we go forward into being professional chaplains, and for all those who have worked to make the Center for Spiritual Care a place where the divine can dwell. V'hi noam Hashem Eloheinu aleinu, u'maseh yadenu konanei aleinu, u'maseh yadenu konanei. May the peace of God rest upon us, and may the work of our hands be established. Amen.
Hello, everybody. The cliche that says life goes by fast, to me, is not a cliche. It does seem to me that this chaplain residency has gone by so fast. On the other hand, I have not forgotten all the work we did. The patient visits, the verbatims of patient visits made and discussed as learning tools, the many didactic learning sessions, the research course, and the related journal club, the mid-unit and end-of-unit and end-of-residency evaluations. I've not forgotten the special events, the holidays, the whole set of on-call experiences, and for me and Mira, the spirituality groups with sight patients. I have especially not forgotten the regular resident group classes, also known as group supervision, which were a real mother lode of learning and growing. In our work, we learn to parse things using 4 big emotions, which are mad, sad, glad, and afraid. Today, I probably have a little of each of these 4 emotions, but I will focus today on sad and glad. I am sad, and I think many of us are sad, to have to leave this wonderful learning environment. Sad at the current end of opportunities to be of service to the patients, their families, and the staff here. I am sad at the many farewells and goodbyes I have to make. But let me turn to the glad side. I am glad, thankful, and appreciative of the comprehensive learning program called Clinical Pastoral Education. I'm particularly thankful for the quality of the program here at Mount Sinai, including the sometimes daunting research class. Some of the things I am thankful for, which we learned that impact on our skills and practice include, and here I borrow a list created by my colleague, Konstantin Gavrokin. Some of the things include active listening, empathic reflection, being present, the action, reflection, action model, holistic understanding of ministry as engaging all levels and dimensions of a patient's life, attention to and honoring people's ethnic, cultural, religious, and spiritual diversity, emotional and relational dynamics, including the dynamics among ourselves, and interdisciplinary teamwork. I am thankful for the input and guidance of our program leaders and managers and preceptors. I'm especially thankful for our center's head, Dr. Debra Marin, its medical director and research class instructor, Dr. Matt Sharma, acting director, Dr. Zorina Costello, and CPE program director, the Reverend David Fleenor. And now let me focus my thanks on the CPE supervisor of the residents, Rabbi Nathan Goldberg. He has deep wells of skills and professionalism and spirituality, and wide knowledge of all areas of spiritual care. He transmitted so much of all that to us. Thank you, Nathan. I'm also thankful for all of their instructors, all the staff chaplains, and for the help of Norma O'Neill. Finally, I am thankful for each of my fellow colleagues, and especially so for each of my chaplain resident colleagues, Mira, Matt, and Konstantin. For me, gratitude, which is part of that glad emotion, outweighs the sad parts. Thank you all for a great year.
At this time, I'd like to recognize the chaplain fellows and confer certificates to them, so I'll ask all 3 of you to come up at this time. I'll say a word about each of you. and then confer to you your certificates. If you know Ari, you know that he has an encyclopedic knowledge of all manner of things. And one of the things I've enjoyed about you, Ari, is you're always quick with a quote or a thought from a great thinker. And I always find that adds a lot to the conversations. And I always appreciate that. Looking forward to continuing our work together as Ari continues here in the Mount Sinai Health System as a CPE supervisory education student. And I know that's going to be a big success for you, and I think you're going to be a real gift to this field. So, congratulations. And it's my honor to present to you the certificate for your chaplaincy fellowship. And to Marina, what I would say is over the year that we've worked together, I've really appreciated getting to know the deep wells in your soul that you have for people who are suffering. Marina has great capacity to be with people in very dark, deep, and painful places. That came through so much in the clinical material that you presented. And even in our one-on-one sessions, it's just apparent that you have a lot of capacity for compassion within your heart and within your soul. And over these last 2 years, it seems to me that you fine-tuned it, that you brought something really deep with you and used this opportunity to fine-tune it in a way that's so helpful. And I was so glad that you were able to work with the palliative care team at Mount Sinai Beth Israel. What a perfect fit for you and for your souls. Congratulations. Heidi and I got to work together a little bit more than I was able to work with the other fellows this year. What I didn't tell you is that when I came into the program a little over a year ago, I inherited these good folks who had been here for a year, and the plan that was laid out for me was to supervise the second-year residents who became known as fellows. And that's been a real delight for me. I didn't know exactly what the curriculum would look like or what we would do together, but for the most part, we focused on refining your board certification application materials, and I have great confidence in all of you. But Heidi and I, because Heidi works here at Mount Sinai Hospital, we got to spend a little bit more time together, and I particularly drew upon your gifts and skills in research and data management and that sort of thing, which is not something that I have a great deal of skill in, but you certainly do. And through that work together, I really came to appreciate the sweet spirit that you have. And I have a particular affinity to you and your you-ness, your Unitarian Universalism-ness, which I got to know more of this year too. So Heidi, thank you for all of your good work. The people in the ICUs, I'm sure, were blessed tremendously by the work that you do, of course by the work that Maggie does on a regular basis. So congratulations to you. A word about Rocky Walker. If you know Rocky, I like to think of him, if you know Joel Osteen, who's he's the smiling preacher, right? I think of Rocky as the smiling chaplain. I don't know if you can be in the room with Rocky for any length of time without having a smile on your face. He brings such joy and hope to people around him. And so I'll say that to him personally once he's back from vacation. But I look forward to continuing to work with Rocky as he's part of the Mount Sinai Health System at St. Luke's at West. Thank you all.
Reverend Constantine Gavrilkin started off as a summer student last year and has really been an anchoring force at Mount Sinai St. Luke's and Mount Sinai West in terms of giving continuity. His insightfulness is something that I'm used to from rabbinic Orthodox Talmudists. But what he carries with him as well, besides his insightfulness, is an incredible sensitivity to open up, to allow patients to open up to him about their suffering. And the non-judgmental presence that he carries with him is one to be missed by both patients and staff. Matt, or Chaplain Matthew Morse, your Buddhist presence, your upbeat nature, and your ability to demonstrate flexibility in extraordinary assets across the system. I think Beth Israel was the only place in the Sinai Beth Israel was the only place in the system that you didn't lay your feet for significant amounts of times. But your tender presence, both with patients and with your peers, really led to a higher quality of experience for both of them during their time here. Mira, Rabbi Mira Rivera. No one who spends any time around you will miss your dedication to diversity, will miss your dedication to making sure that those who don't have voices have their voices heard, and will miss your dedication to making sure that people in the midst of suffering are given the opportunity to get spiritual support and emotional support. And finally, Reverend Phil, or as you've been called in Mount Sinai a few times, Rabbi Phil. Regardless of whatever acronym you have, you're somebody that all of us look up to for your optimism, for your glass half full attitude, and for your ability to be tender and caring in the midst of a lot of transitions, whether it's the transitions your patients are seeing on the cardiac floor, whether it's the transitions that the staff is weathering here at Sinai and across the system, and whether it's just the transitions that we go through in a normal residency life as we learn and live together. Thank you again, Phil, for all that you've done. Once again, thank you to all the residents.
For having had the opportunity to work with all the fellows and the residents that are part of this CPE program at Mount Sinai in one capacity or another. So I thank you for that. This blessing is particularly for the fellows and the residents, but it's for all of you. Because in CPE, we're a team. And so I cannot have a blessing for some and not for others. May you be blessed with joy and laughter. May you be blessed with health and loving kindness. May you be blessed to do work that is meaningful to individuals, the society, and yourselves. May the blessings of the Holy One give you a peace that surpasses all understanding as you continue on your life's journey. May you be mightily blessed. Amen.
Amen.
Amen.